Well, I was now setting up the camera to go live at 8:30, and for some reason it come on. I probably touched the go live and it come on. So let's go live. I mean, it's a whole lot much minutes before, but let's go live. Nevertheless, I am cosmic intelligence, here to serve humanity consciously in sacred love, abundance consciousness, peace, authenticity, organically. Now let's get into this. Now today I want to talk to you guys about why the difference between loving from freedom and loving from fear. So that is the topic today. Please excuse the dogs and them. They're having problems with other dogs. Hello, hello. Behavior. Yes, but nevertheless, as I get them to quiet down. So, loving from freedom. So let's talk about loving from fear first, because that is the thing that had most of humanity living against themselves now, loving from fear. And loving from fear means like you have this friend, a partner, a job, anything that is exterior to the self though. And there was one place in my life where I was loving from fear, when I was afraid to lose people, places and spaces. And I used to love from fear, fear of being alone, fear of abandonment, fear of being avoided, fear of all these different things. And what that caused for me, it caused me to give of myself that I didn't want to give up. Hi Anna, Grand Rising. Jess, Grand Rising. Gratitude. Yes, thank you for the subscription. It's not really about the subscription. For me, it's about the views. It's for the message to get out to the world, and whatever comes from it, comes from it. But it is from a space of love now, right? But nevertheless, I'm so grateful that you subscribe so you can learn some more from my experience and use that into yours, and I will get on to that because I was loving from freedom, But nevertheless, I'm talking about loving from fear first. And it is a space where I used to give up myself. Even when I didn't want to give, I used to give. So I used to go against myself when I hear conversations within myself saying, nah, leave that alone, move on from that. Don't try to add nothing. Don't try to help nothing. Don't try to save nothing. I used to ignore that. Because in that 3D world, they taught us how to sacrifice ourselves onto another. So which means we were being sacrificial onto another, and because we couldn't understand what it meant to be sacrificial, understand? We used to just give it onto others. We used to forgive people for doing shit in our lives. I know some of you can recognize that in yourself because it wasn't me. We used to give people for the shit that they do, and take them back in our lives and feel like, all right, seeing that they come with a nice sub story, and they now check themselves and they realize where they went wrong and thing, and then 2-3 months after down the road they're doing the same thing. And this is what loving from fear caused now. The fact that you didn't want to lose somebody, or the fact that you didn't want to make them feel a certain type of way now. And when I realized this for myself, I was like, whoa, I am losing parts of me now, meaning that I am giving away my integrity, giving away my virtues, giving away my principles, watching them grow from me, and then have them, when they feel so, when their ego feels so, um, what's the word? It feels when they reach in a space where their ego feels so grandiose. Now watch down at me after bringing them in a space that make them who they are while being with me now. And I had to wake up to this truth, this final truth within myself now, that what I was doing was actually boosting somebody's ego or putting somebody on a pedestal above myself now, and making myself look like if I am not enough now, and that was what loving from fear caused now. And because I come to recognize that, I started to love from freedom. Now loving from freedom is the most beautiful thing, because you get to shut off everything that is not of you. Grand Rising, my Sherma, right? It is not of you. So you love from freedom. You allow people to be who they are. You allow all of that. And see for yourself, hey, that's not of me. So I will keep my distance. I love I love the being, but I don't love the inflated ego that it is carrying now. So I started to love from freedom, and that made me whole within myself now, in the sense that wholeness is a whole lot of things. It's not just that alone. It's about health, it's about everything. It's about you giving yourself everything. That's what wholeness is. But when I mean loving from freedom, when it comes to others and other spaces, places, jobs, wherever it is, you're loving from freedom. You don't get involved in things that is not your own. You don't try to save anybody. You can give advice and move on. Keep yourself going and not have anybody attached to you, or anything attached to you, or any space attached to you, or any job attached to you, anything that continuously consumes your energy, and this is loving from freedom. That is a whole different ball game, because I can tell you, when you're loving from freedom, you get to choose what you give your energy to, Like me, I can see confusion from a mile away. So I don't engage it. I walk away from confusion. I don't want to hear what anybody had to say, what situation they get themselves involved in, and all these different things. I don't want no part of that. So the minute that seems like it want to try to enter into my space, I walk away. I find a way to exit and I leave. And I leave loving from freedom, in the sense that if I had the opportunity to say something to somebody that will help them recognize that they didn't have to engage in things that don't matter, fine. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to walk you down that path. That means that I have planted a seed of wisdom and let go and keep moving on. And this is what loving from freedom. You see, when you're loving from freedom, you don't get yourself in confusion. You don't get yourself in chaos. You don't entangle your soul with lack-minded people, places, spaces, You know, you just do what you had to do and do. I don't want to use the word do. You just say what you had to say and leave. Because there's a space from love now. You know, it's not you trying to fix nobody, but it's you saying what you had to say to reach the higher self in that body. And if the ego is too grandiose, you know, you leave that where it is because at some point in time and space, that being or that job or something, those things will have to be relived again until that karmic space returns to balance. And this is why this is urge people do the shadow work, because you don't know what will happen to you. You don't know what you created for yourself before this present moment. It had so many people back then who created death. When I mean physical death, like they choosing to die, leave to unalive the self, and start to feel good, but they know that because of that feeling, it come with somewhere down the road. But if you get a chance to fix yourself now, right? Fix yourself now, do the shadow work, because you didn't know what you was manifesting unconsciously before, you know. And in doing that and fixing the shadow and fixing yourself and doing the shadow work, you can rebuke it. You know, people don't understand this thing, you know. Because when you start to open up yourself, expand yourself consciously, you can rebuke everything that was there because you're living in the present moment. You actually bring yourself to a conscious state where you could co-create. Hi, Wyo Brancy. Oh, Powell, Grand Rising, honey. Yes, I seen that you're driving. You know. So this is what it is means to love freely now. It's all about you. Everything is about you. Keeping chaos and keeping negativity and all those thoughts that were doubtful, that were dismissive, that were not incoherent with your higher self now, or within the manifestations that you're living in this present moment. I would tell you this truth. When I started my journey, I'd wish that I wanted to unalive now. I wanted to die from the body now and just return back onto the source. So I didn't know I had to do all this now to actually, it was the reverse to that. I had to anchor the source in. And the feeling was so intense that death actually came for me, you know. I almost physically died, and not in no accident or anything like that, you know. Like, I had smoked some marijuana, no, but it was a kind of mixed blend marijuana. This happened to me about 4 or 5 years ago, and I was going through, at the time I was going through, I was ending a relationship that I was in for 7 years, and I couldn't understand why I had to end the relationship. So I was holding on for my dear life, holding on to the relationship, and he was already dead. You know, and I was holding on to it, holding on to it, holding on to it, holding on to it. And then one day he appeared with a sweet nuttiness in my ear to get more of my energy, because, you know, I was getting on like if he was the king of the world. And I couldn't see myself with anybody else. And one day he brought that marijuana for me. I don't know if he would bought it especially with whatever was in it, but boy, I saw death in a whole different way that day, you know, because I was manifesting it and it showed up for me. And my body, I was still on some unconscious states, and my body almost unalive itself with just smoking whatever it is he had brought for me. I felt my bowels, my whole body just relaxed, and all my bowels was coming down, and my heart palpitating, profusely sweating, seeing from inside, outside, out into the universe, and fear, riddled with fear, while going through that transition. Now, since I had my conscious out-of-body experience, I have no fear for that now. So it's like I'm facing the real me every day now, in the sense that I never really die now, and that now made me respectful to that, and made me love freely now, in the sense that nothing here matters now. It matters, but it don't matter. What I mean is life experience in itself, in its wholeness and its fullness, but you get a return even when you lose your avatar. So it's nothing to hold on to deeply to the point of fearing that you lose something, or lose somebody, or lose a job, or lose a space, or lose no. All of this is life experience in itself, and navigating realities, because if you understand the depths of manifestations and reincarnations and all these different things, you will know that what you do now echoes out into the future. And because we are creating now from a conscious space as human beings, even in every present moment, that echoes out into the future now, and it's the reason why I'm so excited about the upcoming years, that I will still be here because of the manifestations that I put out to the quantum field, and to change the trajectory, to live beautiful unto myself, and give myself the wholeness that I deserve unto myself, that I am worthy of each and every day now. And this beautiful souls is what it means to love freely now, not holding nothing or attaching anything to yourself now. Yes, why, Randy? Fun, fun, fun. Fun, fun, fun. All about that. About giving yourself that meaning for life now. Because when it's your time, when it's your time to exit your avatar, what you create here, you're coming back and meet greater, because it's you creating it even out from your children that come from your seed and your womb. From the seed and the womb, they will experience, and that's all. While you growing with your kids and doing everything, and having a conscious mindset towards that, when it's your turn to leave your avatar after being the leader for your life, and changing the trajectory for your life, you know what's gonna come back in? This beautiful state of abundance. Even though it's happening right now, it will get better and better and better and better, because you choose to give that to yourself now, and you realities that are not meaningful unto yourself. So all of this is what comes from loving from freedom now. You understand? And this is what it means to give yourself more. Expand your consciousness. Expand the potentials of the mind, because it's from here, from your heart, that you want better from yourself. You get to manifest and echo out into the future what's best for you and your generational line, or your generations to come from you. You will always want what is deserving and what is best for you now. And this beautiful souls. We don't love out of fear. We don't love out of fear to lose anything, anyone, any space, nothing. You understand? Who life you live in? You live in your life. Not your children, not your wife, not your husband, not your children, not your wife, not your husband, not your friend, not your job. None of these things will matter in the years to come while living out of freedom and not out of fear. While loving out of freedom and not out of fear. Because you don't have to hold on to anything. Just give yourself everything that you need for yourself and see how everything shifts in favor of yourself. I hope this was helpful to somebody today, because people's places, jobs, and all these other things, circumstances that if it's not yours, you don't attach it to yourself. You give your word and you leave it there, and love from freedom, and keep moving with the love you have for yourself in freedom, allowing all things that are not you to fade away, so you can live your life freely every day. You know what I'm saying? It is because of this we truly bliss in every way, loving in freedom unapologetically. I am Cosmic Intelligence, here to serve humanity in sacred love, abundance consciousness, peace, authenticity, organically, loving in freedom and wholeness, living all our beautiful states in every present moment, choosing ourselves and not loving in fear to lose anything outside ourselves, but loving in freedom and giving the best unto ourselves and reflections of ourselves. Once again, I am Cosmic Intelligence. Yay! You have a beautiful, spectacular, awesome, magical, wonderful, amazing day, just as you are, filled with infinite potentials that freedom brings our lives in every way, as love reigns supreme, free in our life in every way, showing up as blessings, breakthroughs, and miracles for our life. Each and every present moment, the fulfillment of the kingdom within our life, loving in freedom and giving ourselves beauty in every way. I love each and every one of you. One love, one love, one love, one love. Yeah. Namaste. Until a new day or next video. You never know. Because this one come on for itself today. So you never know. But do have a beautiful, spectacular, awesome, magical day. I love each and every one of you. Andromeda Palazolo. Namaste, namaste. Infinite love, darling. Infinite love. Have a beautiful day. Until another time. Bye for now.